are about to experience, Jackson Snyder presents. Direct from the AD and Yahshua, a Hebrew Nation radio original program. JSP is a variety show seeking out Jewish and Christian origins, religion, theology, and history, and doing so in a fashion that is both educational and entertaining. Welcome to Jackson Snyder Presents.
Hey, Jackson, I wanted to ask you something that's on the same subject. You know how the believers fled to Pella and stayed up in the caves above Pella?
Yeah.
I wonder, have they, I did a little research, not an extensive amount, but some. And I noticed that there hasn't been that much archaeological expeditions in those caves up there.
Expeditions of what?
Of the caves up there, digging in the caves, looking for you know.
Really bad.
Tomorrow on the 3rd.
There may be some treasure trove of documents. Up there.
Yeah, and look at this. The Muslims are tearing out the bottom of the Temple Mount and throwing everything away. And now
Maybe that's what it was, yeah.
some people have found the dirt that they threw away and are sifting through it. And there was an artifact just found, a small, what was it? Do y'all remember? I mean, just recently.
It was a silver, it was folded. I was like, wasn't it a curse? Wasn't that a curse?
Yeah, like an amulet.
Yes, it was a curse. It was a, yeah.
So what do you think that they're throwing away in there, the Muslim? But that's a scary thing, because I've even heard that the mosque there is kind of being, the foundations of the mosque could come down. Man, I was in that place. It's something else. There's a big rock in there. You got to go up and worship.
What did you think about that rock? Because they say that's the threshing floor rock, but it sure doesn't seem like it's a threshing floor stone to me.
No, I don't think so. That rock is not flat. It's not anything but a rock. You know, they say that was the place where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. They also said that's the place where Jesus ascended. There's one other thing. What would they all be doing on this rock in the middle of Orion? Yeah, right. I'd like to know more about this. I'd like to know more about Amarna and the so-called Third Temple.
Maybe we should send 2 spies in there.
Did you read that book? 2 spies went in. They say they found Sinai.
Right?
It's a good book. Tom something. Tom, what's with me and thinking? Now, I got one question for you and we'll quit. Why is it that if I go to a Catholic church, I feel a strong sense of holiness? It doesn't make sense to me. If I get in that, you remember I went to a Catholic seminary a couple of years. And when I even look at these Spanish-style seminaries and churches, I get a feeling of holiness.
I think a lot of the people there, that's the reason why they're there. They want to be holy. They think what they're doing is right. Some of them, they sang the praises of Yahweh. They just, I've heard that some of them just started taking them out, that they actually was singing. And, a lot of them, I think the ones that are there, they just don't know the whole full story, but they think they're doing the right thing. So when 2 or more are gathered, if they think they're doing right,
That's a good opinion.
Right.
I'll hang on to that. Anybody else wonder? Where do you feel holiest?
I don't understand, but I have really good Catholic friends that are just devout. And they are, my one girlfriend, I joke with her, tease her and say, Nancy, I'm sure you've never sinned. I mean, she's just the perfect example of what the Christian walk should be. But she is a devout Catholic. It's so I
is she a Marianist?
Is she? Well,
Assumption of Marian.
Her favorite is Saint Teresa, I think, and she has the idols in her house and stuff. But she feeds the hungry. I mean, she's an amazing woman. She is probably the best, finest example of a quote unquote Christian that I've ever seen in my life. And I was raised Baptist, so I was never raised Catholic or anything. So I can understand why you would feel that.
Well, if you feel that way, certainly there've got to be some holy people. Even in Thyatira, they were in there.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Well, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I just saw on this copper here, copper and lead, there's a picture of Medusa on here. Well, I'm sure you're interested in that. Medusa with a snake for hair. All right, so let's say goodbye. I think we've had enough. You all did a great job.
Can I ask you a question? This has nothing at all to do with what we're talking about, except what are you talking about with Clint Eastwood?
Oh, several years ago, we had a running feud with Clint Eastwood.
Your group?
Not really the group, just Brother Shroomkoff. Somehow, well, let's see, here's how it worked out at the time, just real quick. Shroomkoff, while we were on air, called Clint Eastwood to find out if it was true that animals, especially cows, rope and pole brand them. Let's see, what's the words of that song? Rawhide, rolling, 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 they're disapproving. Keep those doggies moving, rawhide. Don't try to understand them, just rope and pole and brand them. There. He wanted to ask Clint Eastwood if he made any headway in understanding these cows when he was doing the Rawhide show. And he got into that because we were doing the Animal Apocalypse, which has a lot of cows in it from the Book of Enoch. And so he called Clint up and they had a little conversation. And it turned out that Clint accused him of kidnapping his daughter. And Brother Shroomkoff was just stammering stuff.
An adult daughter, like a cult or a young kid? Or
I'll get the recording for you.
Boy, I'd really like to hear that.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I know where it is. I'll just get it and I'll get the last part of it. But you got to consider when you listen to it that we have been talking about the animal apocalypse. That's the second vision. There's a 10-day vision in the animal apocalypse in the Book of Enoch. I think it's chapter 86 comes to my mind. Okay, and
I didn't know.
I'll find that tonight.
I had no idea his daughter was ever kidnapped.
Or I'll tell you what. Let's do it Tuesday. I'll have it then. And we were supposed to have Joshua Graves, who said he had a vital vision he had for us. He was supposed to come Tuesday. Is he here today? No, he's not here. So
did anybody invite him? Because I could have invited him. I thought he was on earlier.
Yes, I did invite him. I talked to him yesterday. I said, you didn't show up. If this is an important vision, we need to know about it. And so he said, okay, I'll probably be able to do it Thursday. It doesn't sound that important now. But who knows? We've had other people talk about their visions here. If you remember the lady a couple of months ago that talked about her upbringing, not Tammy, but that other lady, Janine, that was life-changing for some people, at least for, what's the guy's name, your friend, Sean?
Schwabi.
Yeah, Schwabi. So thanks for coming. This is Thursday.
Melissa has her hand up, Jackson.
Oh, I thought she just talked. Go ahead. Melissa?
I had a question that was not pertaining to this, but I thought you would have the answer.
Probably not.
You know about that sign of the cross? I've always wondered, is that in the Apocrypha or where did that come from?
Catholic
did the people make the Catholics make where they go up and down and then over and over like deal?
It's not in scripture, but the mainline churches such as Roman Catholic and Orthodox churches, Anglican Orthodox, they do it. I don't think there's a thing wrong with it. It just is simply saying, I am carrying my cross and I am in agreement with that. So you notice on TV, they usually use that to try to protect them against some evil that's coming on them. I don't think it'll do much for that any more than, say, wearing some garlic around the neck, but it might. I've never found anything pagan about it, but I've never seen it in any but some of the later Apocrypha, the Catholic Apocrypha. They talk about saying amen is one of their big words to chase away demons, and the other is the sign of the cross. Do you like it?
Who, me?
Yeah, the sign of the cross.
I don't know. I mean, if I thought it was something that we're supposed to do or that it was something that was good, I don't do it, but it'd be nice to know where it came from.
Anne probably does it.
Didn't Constantine also have a vision of the cross?
He had a vision of the Cairo. Yes. He was one of 4 emperors. Well, you can look this up. Yeah. You know what the Cairo is? It's like a P with an X on it.
Right.
You'll see it even in the Methodist Church. You see it. It stands for Chi, or the key is how you pronounce it. An X-looking thing.
Right.
That's the first letter in Christos.
Right.
In Greek. And then the rho looks like a P, but it's an R.
Right.
So, Cairo, Christos, would you believe? I can't remember that either. I've got to stop saying that. You're going to think that I am really senile.
Ain't it also a mark in the Hebrew?
Cairo, it's in Paleo Hebrew. Yes, there's a letter. I think it's Q.
Some people say when they put that on their forehead, they're marking them.
Well, they put it on Constantine's shield. He supposedly had a vision to put this Cairo on the shield down. He was invading Italy. He was one of 4 emperors. He was the emperor of Britain and part of Europe. And there was an evil guy in Rome, and there were 2 other ones that hated Christians. So he decided from then on, he was going to take the empire for Christo. And you say, well, he was a pagan sun worshiper.
Right.
Everyone was a pagan sun worshiper. This guy planned how to take over the entire Roman Empire at its greatest extent, getting rid of the 3 other emperors and turn it over to Christ. That was his intention. It was not his intention to change any church. He didn't do much to change the church except to bring everybody together. I think he gets a bad rap. I sure do. He did the best he could.
Right.
He didn't add Mary worship. He didn't add all this other crap that Rome has. He had nothing to do with saying the rosary.
Right.
He did have something to do with bringing these bishops and deacons together so they could decide what was true doctrine and what wasn't. He didn't decide. You can read his letters today, and you can say that all this stuff that these people are saying about him changing the Sabbath and changing the Bible and all this, he didn't do those things. His intentions were clear.
Right.
He stopped persecution for all religion before he made Christianity the religion of the empire. It was just part. Yeah.
Jackson, I don't mean to interrupt you, but some people are asking on the chat. There is a video teaching on this exact subject on the Ahad. If you go down to the creative playlist and go almost all the way to the right, you'll have to scroll over quite a bit. You'll see it in there. It's Constantine wrongly accused or something like that. It's actually outstanding. Because I was a Constantine hater just because the church told me to be until I actually researched it, and then that video was instrumental in. And I'm with you, Constantine. If you talk to the independent Baptist type people, the real fundamental Protestants, they hate him because they see him as the Roman Catholic type starter guy. But really, he did a lot of really good things. Actually, if you actually look at what he actually did and not listen to the church, so to speak, you know what I mean?
Well, reading his letters, you can see his intention. And don't forget this: his father and his mother, they were British. They were raised among the Chaldees, the original Israel gang that went to Britain. His father, as the emperor, was always sickly. They called him sickly Constantine. And the word in Latin, I can't remember what it is. It's the same word as the color in Revelation, the green horse, the pale horse. It says green there. So Constantine's father was green because he was always so sick. He died young. He sent Constantine over to learn war from the worst persecuting emperor that ever lived, as Diocletian. And Constantine, at 17 years old, went over with him. There, among the troops, he met Lactantius, who was a strong Christian. And so the religion of his youth, meeting up with Lactantius in his late teens, I have no doubt that solidified his thoughts in faith, because you can still read Lactantius today, and the stuff he's got there is good. And there is quite a bit of apocryphal knowledge here about somehow they put together Constantine, Titus, Lactantius, and what's the other guy? What's Titus's father's name? I'm losing my...
Not Vespasian.
Vespasian. Yes, that's right. Yes. There's what happened? Titus got a nose disease. This is the guy that destroyed Jerusalem. And he went over to Egypt to get it healed. And who did he go see? Lactantius, who was 200 years later. It's a real problem with time lapse there. But what a great story. And I mean, it's on there someplace. And I think that's by Lactantius. So look him up. I have a couple of videos on there with him and Constantine. And yes, those are good, because I did a lot of work studying that. And when I see that on Facebook about Constantine, how sinful and awful he was, I just got to write something down. But really, nobody's interested. They just want another guy to hate like Paul. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Yahweh be with you until we meet Shabbat morning. And I thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom. You have been listening to Jackson Snyder Presents on Hebrew Nation Radio.